What's up, guys? It's Small Zan,
Big.
and we're back with a new episode of our series. This is the third episode. Yeah, third episode of our new series called Inner Circle. It's about friendship. And today we're just gonna jump right into it. We have a quote from last week that will give you a little hint of what we're gonna be talking about today. And he's gonna read it. Go ahead, read it.
Some of the friendships I found as an adult are far more rewarding than those forged out of the convenience of adolescence. Rachel Birch.
You guys might be like, who are these people? I'll introduce them now. You want to introduce yourself? Yeah? You two? You both do?
Yeah.
If not, I can introduce you. I'm good at this. Okay.
My name is Parker. Apparently he's already talked about me.
I have. If you guys have been listening for a while, you know about my brothers. So.
Good things.
Yeah, good things. Next person?
Yeah,
I'm Riley.
I'm glad to have you guys on. We have some more guests coming on later, and they will introduce themselves later, as if they want to. I always ask if you guys want to or not. So, just in case you don't, I'm here. I'm ready. But today we are talking about mending and mourning. Right now we're going to talk about some mending stuff, just mending in general. But before we do that, I want to just tell you guys, please follow and subscribe and all that stuff. I don't like saying that, but you kind of have to in this industry that we're in. But what did you guys think of the quote? What stood out about to you guys?
Well, I think it's very true. I think just as you get older, you realize that some of the friends you grew up with, even though they are convenient, because, I mean, for the most part, you don't have to put a lot of work into getting to know them again. But the friends that you make as an adult usually have more of the same interests or like hobbies. So it makes it a lot easier to hang out.
Yeah.
Well, and you're learning a new person. So, I mean, that takes time. But as long as you like new things, it can be really fun.
Yeah, I think as an adult it takes more effort to make a friendship because like when you're just like a teenager, like younger, like you just meet them in school or whatever. But as an adult, like you have to work like around both schedules.
I wish I could make friends like a kid. You just run up to some kid picking his nose, and you say you want to be friends.
Exactly.
Friends.
So you guys think that friendships as an adult are harder than when you're younger because it's just the convenience of it?
Yeah.
When you're younger, you have your parents are friends with someone, so their kids are just your friends or the people you sit in class with.
Yeah, you're not like seeing them every day, and like your parents aren't like arranging play dates for you, you know?
Yeah, and then when you become an adult, you have like a job, you have a work schedule, and you can't hang out all the time. And then you have to make friends at work, but your friends at work are usually never the same age as you because you're an adult and not all your friends want to do the same job as you. So you're friends with some 40-year-old dude as an 18-year-old because that's who you work with every day.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird concept. Because at one point you were like 1 and they were like 22.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get off topic right here. So you think if like someone was 20 and they married a 30-year-old, you think that's weird?
Yes, that's weird. That's a 10-year age gap. It's just like being friends with someone who's way older. It is nice because you do get like that mentorship as long as they're like stable. You get that mentorship.
Yeah.
Or they're a child. There's really no between.
Okay.
But
like your only interests are work.
not your only interest. I mean, hopefully that's your main interest, or else you probably don't enjoy your job. But yeah, you still have to have friends outside of it, because like even though you work together, that doesn't mean you have the same hobbies. Like you could work with someone, they could hate sports and you love sports. So then you're probably not gonna hang out with that person and go to like a basketball game because they don't like basketball. You know?
Okay.
But yes, it's weird. It's a weird concept. I mean, it makes sense once you get older because you work like right next to that person every day. So you're
So
kind of
it's
happy.
so it's like the same thing as when you're a kid and you just sit next to a guy and you're like, "What's up? You're my friend now."
Yeah, but
It's like
like,
that because you guys just have the same job.
but it's still weird because like you could be like 18 and like
And
fresh
yeah,
out of
they
high
could be like
school,
52
and
years
they're
old.
40 and they have a whole family.
Yeah, that's
And you're in like two totally different stages of life, but you both work
Yeah.
at Fred Meyer.
so you guys are friends. Yeah, that's called acquaintances. Like you guys see each other, so you're just like, "Oh, how was your day? Oh, how was your day? Oh, you took your wife and kids out. Nice for you. What did you do? I played video games and ate pizza."
Do you count that as like a real friendship, or it is just more like an acquaintanceship? Like I don't know if that's like a friendship if you don't really like
Yeah,
you
do
don't
you
do
s-
anything outside of work.
Yeah, do you see them outside of work?
Wow, I really have no friends if we're not considering that. Oh Lord.
That's not true.
No, it's different if you like hang out with them
friends.
outside of work.
I have, but I don't hang out with a lot of people outside of work because I'm introverted. So unless they invite
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
You too. Well, you have more than that, but I'm your friend and related to you.
that's really
That's
weird.
not all. That doesn't always happen.
That doesn't always happen.
That's yeah.
Good friend.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get back on topic. We're talking about mending. We haven't even talked about it a lot. We talked about, we just went off about like this 40-year-old dude that walks in here, I guess.
Fred Meyer.
Yes. Yep, that
Yeah.
sounds,
He bags the groceries.
that sounds
Lives a
good.
great life.
Yep. Sounds amazing. He's not having like a midlife crisis or something.
If he works at Fred Meyer's, I really hope he's not having a midlife crisis. Otherwise, he's probably like riding a skateboard or something. That's his whole midlife crisis.
Yep. Yeah, because he can't really buy anything.
Wow. I wasn't going there.
I bet
I'm broke. Why don't you?
I bet like, you know how most like old men, when they have a midlife crisis, they're like rich. So they buy whatever they want.
Those are just the more obvious midlife crisis. You could
Yeah,
have
of course
a,
there's
you
ones
could have a
that.
midlife crisis and just get like fat because you start eating a ton
Oh, that's true.
because
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing with your life.
I was just thinking of like the typical one you see in like.
Yeah, like the bougie ones
social
where
media
they're
and
like,
stuff
oh,
like
I got
that.
a new sports car because I was getting old.
Yeah, I got married to a 20-year-old that just
Leonardo
Just got out of school.
DiCaprio. He's been going through a midlife crisis for a while, guys.
yeah. Have you mourned a friendship before?
I thought we were mending.
Mending a friendship, yeah. You got me so off topic. I forgot what we were talking about. Have you mended a friendship before? Have you like mended one?
Yeah.
You got in a fight. It could be a little thing, like you guys got in a fight, didn't talk for a couple days, and now you're friends again after we talked about some issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think mending friendships is hard, for me at least, because I am very stubborn. So I don't always want to admit I'm wrong, even though I probably am, but it's okay.
So from your standpoint, because you're stubborn, as you said, is it like a pride thing where you just like feel like what you said was true and what they said was wrong, so you're like, nah, I'm sticking to what I said? Is it like that sort of thing? Like,
Yeah, I just think, I mean, you don't really want to be wrong. I mean, I've gotten better at admitting when I'm wrong, but yeah, for the most part, I don't know. The pride gets to me, and I'm too stubborn to admit that I'm wrong until I get lonely, and then I admit I'm wrong.
Riley, have you mended a
Yeah,
friendship?
it happens more like just like the example I have. Like it happened like just like a situation that we both handled really differently. We kind of just disagreed about how each other handled the conversation, and we just kind of didn't really talk for like a week. And like I kept trying to kind of reach out, and she did a tiny bit too, but it wasn't just like wasn't equal amounts of effort. I think.
It was like one of you is putting in more work than the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it kind of just like I think I don't remember which one of us, but one of us eventually kind of just gave up. It's like, you know what, like we value this friendship more than like this tiny little argument. So we went on a drive and had a long talk and worked it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it an example real quick. So since you said you're stubborn,
Yeah.
I want to get more to that. So say you have a friendship and you guys get into an argument and it's something stupid, but you think you're right about it, and you guys are not talking about it a couple days.
Yeah.
Would you let that friendship slip to the wayside and just let it go? Or would you try to repair that at the end of the day because you actually care about that friendship?
I think it depended on the level of friendship we had, because I think there's levels to friendship.
Okay. Let's say your fake friend. You just let that go. Of course.
Oh, 100%. I'm stubborn, so I'd probably take a few jabs at them to see, like, if they banter with me. And if they don't banter with me, it's probably going on the wayside. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leads me, because we talked about
Well,
fake friends last week. Go check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. It's a good episode. And in that we talked about red flags, which I noticed that also happens when you're mending and mourning a friendship. Is like, what's red flags you see where you're like, maybe this friendship is just not worth mending, because those red flags just kind of stick out. Maybe they're not a true friend.
well, I think everybody has red flags. I think it's just whether or not, one, you're willing to call them out on their red flags when they need it, and then two, if you're close enough friends where they're okay with you calling them out on their red flags or not. Because if they're not okay with it, then you're probably not close enough to call them out on their red flags.
Okay. I've talked about this the last 2 weeks about maybe a friend just couldn't handle what you told them. Say you told them something serious and they just couldn't handle it, because some people can't handle stuff at a certain period in their life. Like, say their parents just got divorced, and then you try to tell them like this big news of something bad happening in your life, and they just can't handle it. So they might tell someone else, and it might hurt your feelings. But is that a friendship worth mending?
I think it's
At the end of the
hard
day?
because like they're in like kind of like a broken place, so I don't feel like
Yeah.
you can judge them when they're in that place.
Yeah.
I also don't think, like, you should hold all your friends to, like, the same levels, because, like, I have friends, like, obviously you can tell them if you're going through something, but you shouldn't expect, like, even if you've known each other for years, you shouldn't expect someone, especially if you know they're, like a
So, like,
walk-by friend, like, they walk by, and they'll hang out with you if you're doing great, but they're not going to stay. Like, those are walk-by friends, and you should know that, like, when something bad happens or something serious, they're walking
don't
out
go
the
to them?
door, and then they'll come back when it's, like, all sunny, and they want to hang out again.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like seasonal friends.
I wouldn't say that, because I feel like seasons usually have, like, a beginning and an ending. I feel like those friends don't really have an ending.
So they're just acquaintances, as I said. Like, people you just see every now and then. You're like, oh, how's your week? Oh, how's your week?
No,
How's your life?
Because they're still friends, because you would still go do stuff with them, like invite them out every now and then. But they're not friends that, like,
So they're not.
Yeah.
They're not tight friends.
yeah, they're your sunny weather friends that you
So
like
they're
go to the
like-
beach with, and you
So
play
you-
volleyball with when
so you-
it's hot out. But
You keep them as like an arm length away.
A
Like,
safe distance.
personal stuff, not really gonna share with you. You're just supposed to go hang out with
yeah,
them.
somebody you
now and then.
like. If you're 21, you like go and have drinks with every now and then, and like have a fun time, watch like a fight or something.
More like a casual friend.
Yeah, like a casual friend.
Yeah.
I think you're okay to have casual friends. You just need to realize they're casual friends.
Yeah.
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 So, if you have a casual friend and you tell them something deep, you'd let that friendship go, or would you try to mend it? I'm like just trying to get a sample right now. Because there's always that one person in your life eventually that you're like, maybe I should have reached out, or maybe it handled it differently, or maybe it should have went this way, or I shouldn't have said that. Is that a friendship that, like,
I
you try to mend more.
I think you should put all your effort into fixing it. That way, if that situation happened, you could be like, well, I tried everything I could.
Yeah.
Just so you know for yourself. Like, I put in all the effort I could. I tried
Like
to do everything.
You tried to make it work, but they were the one that was
That didn't
detaching.
Yeah, then like it's not worth keeping if you know you tried everything and got no response.
I think you also have to worry about like your own mental stability though. Like I don't think you should go like pull your hair out over someone not messaging you back because you've tried and they just don't care.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you should stress over something if someone else isn't stressing over it. Like if they're not stressing over the same thing, then I don't think it's worth stressing over.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna give a weird scenario now.
My specialty.
Okay, say you have. So we did last week. We did. I did a weird scenario about this fake friend that ends up dating his friend, like, girlfriend, and then having a kid with his mom and stealing his car. So I did that last week about a fake friend because at the end of the day that friend didn't care about him, just wanted his stuff.
Wow. That's,
Yeah, we did a whole scenario on that last week. So this week, since we're talking about mending a friendship, say I'll make it less weird than that one was. It got really weird, but say you and this friend had a big fight, and then they
Can we name the
decided.
friends?
Sure, Steven was the one that you got a fight with. So it's
Steven
you.
from Minecraft. Okay.
It's both of you.
Parker and Steve.
Both of you
Parker
were
right.
out with Steven, talking to him, all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. And then Steven was like, and then you guys got in a fight. And then you guys were yelling at each other, and Steven's like, I'm sick of this. Leaving. So then Steven leaves, and later adds you in a group chat. Both of you in a group chat with a bunch of your other friends and spills your laundry to them.
You burn their
Because he's bad.
I'm kidding. Don't do arson. Arson is bad.
But what
That's a
would...
very extreme scenario.
I only deal in extreme scenarios, okay? That you
I
heard
feel
the one
like-
last
I feel
week.
like that's like an
I get out.
anime, like fake bullying scenario. Like I feel like that's something you see at like the beginning of a show where they
Okay,
make it
you
way
want?
more
I'll
extreme
give
than
you.
high school actually was.
Hey, I'll give you an anime one if you want an anime
I
one.
just want,
Okay,
like, a
you
more
and
realistic
Riley.
example that I could like fathom
Okay.
happening.
So, well, that actually could happen nowadays. A lot of people use social media, so that could happen.
I don't have social media. I feel like that's a bad topic for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do something more. So you guys get in a fight, and he like comes out of nowhere and jumps out of the car, punches you, and drives off.
A lawsuit.
I feel like anything I throw at you is gonna. So
Who's doing drive-by punches, man? I'm really confused. Like at that point, just pull out a gap, bro. Like
I was trying to make
Like,
it a
dude.
take motion, okay? I said he jumped out the car.
drive-by.
Like he parked his car and he's like, "What's up?" And you're like, "What's up?" And then he was like, "Boom!" and jumped, ran,
I know
jumped his car, and drove
100%
off.
you're getting that from Creed. 100% we watched that happen in Creed 3.
When?
Well, on the beach. Remember, he parks the car and he like runs across the beach, and they're like screaming at each
He
other.
didn't
and
punch him.
No, he
The
got
one dude, the dude on the beach got punched him.
But that,
the
I
dude
feel
that
like
drove
that's where
it.
you're stealing from.
No, that was off the dome. I was not like I did not even use that as a reference. That hasn't even been in my mind.
It is now.
Now it is, but so I'll just do a new scenario, I guess.
new scenario.
Okay.
Scenario 3. This might be the winner.
Okay, scenario 3. You guys, you and Jonathan. I'm switching the name. Jonathan
Jonathan,
and
great guy.
you are just chilling, all that stuff, and you try to tell him a problem, and it just looks like he's not responding the way you want him to in that situation. And you guys get in a fight. You guys stop being friends for like a couple days. Are you gonna be the one to reach out, or are you waiting for him to reach out? And are you guys gonna try to
I think
mend?
it depends on how much I value the friendship. Because, like, if I do value the friendship, then yeah, I'm gonna reach out and try everything I can.
I'll add on to the scenario.
Okay, for the sake of
He's been your friend. He's been your friend for a very long time,
Okay.
and you have this new friend that seems like he might maybe fake.
Jennifer.
You ask Jonathan about it. You're like, Jonathan, how do you think of like Steven? Steven's really cool, and Jonathan goes, Steven is like the most fake person I've ever seen. So you guys get mad at him because you have these rose tinted goggles on towards Steven because he's new and you think he's cool. Oh yeah, he's cool. So you get mad at Jonathan, and you guys fight about it,
my guy.
and you guys decide to walk out of the place, and you guys don't talk for a couple days. Are you gonna reach out to him, or do you think you would still be in that stage of like, Jonathan's the worst person ever? I don't care about him because
I don't-
Steven's better.
I don't think you should go to 0-100 over a fight. If you do, you might want to see.
I
some
knew the
counseling.
scenario. I just did that like that though.
I need
So,
some counseling.
go ahead.
But
No, I do
If
extreme
we're-
scenarios. I did a tame one for you. Go ahead.
that's a team one
Yeah, listen to me.
where Jonathan is the worst.
Did
guy
you not hear the last one?
I just.
I did last week about a fake friend getting his mom pregnant, his girlfriend pregnant, taking the car, crashing it, and then becoming the stepfather of the
Have
dude.
you recently visited Alabama? Is that what we're going off of here? Jesus.
No, I was going crazy with it. It's not my offense, okay? Me and Chance were going off each other. We
Okay.
made the story weird like that.
Okay, this is a weird story. Honestly,
It is.
like
It is.
only happens in the
Watch
South.
next week.
Um,
Sorry for the loudness.
wow, 0-100 with Jonathan, where he's the worst guy ever. I think because he's a close friend, you should, if they're a close friend, and like,
Yeah, he is a close friend in this scenario.
not even because they have like dirt on you, but just because like you've probably grown your friendship over the years, I feel like you should probably reach out, or at least I would reach out.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
well,
it
okay.
would take time.
So let's do this scenario.
But
okay?
I like to dissect situations, so I
we're
think
gonna-
I would like want to ask
Okay.
him further, like
we're
what his
gonna
thought
do this. We're gonna add on.
Oh, we're
okay?
adding.
So you meet. Yeah, I'm gonna make it like this whole thing.
Can we
You choose
subtract
path.
and make it a little
So-
less confusing?
No, you
Okay.
meet
Add
Jonathan at I
Mm-hmm.
don't know where you guys want to meet, a coffee place.
The tequila factory.
Okay, they meet at a coffee place. I don't
With
know what
tequila.
coffee place. Not with tequila.
Irish coffee.
We do not sponsor that. If you're under the age of 21, do not drink. This guy's trying to.
I already said only drink legally.
Gosh, no, you did not.
I feel like it. Did I say only drink legally? Only drink legally.
Okay, so you guys meet at a coffee place. Okay.
Yes,
So
coffee.
You meet at a coffee
Like
place.
friends. Yeah.
What is the first thing you say to Jonathan?
Well, I'd ask him about Ross and Rachel and see how they're doing. No.
What?
As a friend's reference, it was a joke.
They don't have a character
You
named
meet at
Jonathan
a
in
coffee
that.
place. If I'm going to like a meeting with them,
Yeah.
I feel like at that point you're really trying to mend it. Like if you're actually set up like a meeting date.
Yeah. You guys were talking about that anyways. So, it's an actual meeting place. What's the first thing you'd say to that?
Good to see you. You have to start off on like a good note. You can't just be like, so, why were you being stubborn? Why were you being mean to me?
Okay, what's your answer, right?
I would, ask like how they're doing, how they're coping with the argument that we had.
I like that version better.
Yeah.
You can't just start off dark. You gotta be like a little bit sunny.
Yeah, but
if you're
how you doing after you just fall with the person?
that's
How you doing?
Still, like, you have to be cordial though. You can't just be like mean mug them. Like I'm so tough.
sorry.
Like, bro, why?
You're just getting straight to business though over being like.
I feel like that's like
Okay,
rash though.
hey,
You shouldn't be too direct.
hey.
Like I feel like you have to like.
Okay.
It's like a compliment sandwich where you like
Yeah.
compliment someone and then you like criticize them a little bit. And then you compliment them again because then it helps them like take it better.
But, like,
it's a
if
little
we-
bit smoother of a transition.
If we've been friends, then like, you should know that I'm okay just skipping that and just I want to get the issue fixed.
Phone call.
That's not as like.
that's not as personal.
Yeah.
You talk about not doing social media and stuff like that, so I thought it would be more personal for you to meet a person,
That's true.
not over the phone. Yeah. So
I feel like I've worked half my fights out on video games, so I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
okay. So you guys
It's okay.
are talking about stuff, and he says, I think Steven is definitely fake, and I'm only saying that because I care about you. So see, he's trying to mend it by being like, I'm sorry, but I think Steven's fake, and I care about you enough to say that.
I think you should take that, but you should also.
What would you say to him?
What would I
What's
say?
what's your next thing you say to him right after he says that?
I'd be like,
I would ask for the reasons why. I would ask for like
Yeah.
examples.
yeah, I'd probably ask for examples.
Yeah.
If they had valid examples, I'd be like, thanks for bringing that bringing that to my
Yeah.
attention.
But like make sure they know that like I do trust you. I'm just for my
Okay,
own.
Steven's secretly
Like I can
talking.
also make my own friendships though.
Okay, Steven is secretly talking to your significant other behind your back.
Oh, we throwing hands.
And Jonathan saw that.
I would need proof because I'm not just gonna jump on someone without proof. But if you have proof, I did. Yeah, that friendship's not like my friendship with Jonathan would be mended, obviously. But my friendship with Steven is like, it's like a dumpster fire. It's just going downhill, quick.
Wow.
We're in a homeless man's home. That's crazy.
So you would say that you would mend the relationship with Jonathan. You guys would be tight. You'd be cool and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think I don't think you should just like straight up cut people off unless you have a really good reason. But over a fight, as long as it's not about something like serious, like them like sleeping with your significant other, or something where they lost your trust, I think you should try to mend it. That doesn't mean that they're on the same level that they were, but I think you can still mend it and like be a little more casual friends rather than like
So you should.
number ones.
You should. If it's a relationship you want to mend, you should try to put effort in, and actually like maybe set up like a meeting, go to coffee or something. Maybe text if it's not that big. Do it over video games, I guess.
Well, like if it's not like a big fight and it's just like you guys like disagreed about something,
Yeah.
like I feel like that like you hop on, you play a few games together. Like if that's something you usually do together, like you shouldn't like if you've never played video games with this person and you know you get like rage from video games, you probably shouldn't hop on Black Ops and start screaming at the person. But if you usually play video games together, I feel like you can like talk it out while you're playing, because I feel like that gives you like, at least for me, like it gives me something to like do so that I'm not just overthinking it and saying things I don't mean.
And then sometimes, guys, that it's not. Maybe you're putting effort in, but maybe the relationship is just. It's doomed to end. So maybe you gotta mourn it. Which brings me to the subject of now we're gonna do mourning, and these two people are gonna go off. Thanks for being on. Thanks for being on, Riley and Parker. You did good.
Love that movie.
But you guys wanna introduce yourself, or do you want me to?
I'll do it. I'm Amethyst.
Hello,
This
I'm
is
Koby.
Amethyst. This is Koby. This is my oldest brother right there. I've been trying to have a podcast with him for a while, so. But yeah, so you guys are here to talk about mourning friendships. Have you had a lot of that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I
Okay.
think as you grow, it just naturally comes.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I want to ask you, because I asked them, what do you guys think about the quote? You can look it over if you need to look it over. It's the one at the bottom. What's your thoughts about the quote? What did you take away from it? Because sometimes, like, a quote we do and we try to always, like, maybe we got this out of it. I just want to see if you guys have something a little bit different
Yeah.
than they did.
No, I definitely think, like, I agree that it's, like, easier to make friends as a kid.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, the friendships as an adult are far more rewarding because it's not based on, you sit next to me in class, it's based on the fact that you have the same values now and the same interests now.
Yeah.
I actually do find it easy to make friends as an adult, but that's also because I go specifically to places where I can make those friends. Like, I like concerts, so I go to concerts and meet people who like live music. I like going to coffee shops, so I find people at church that also like that, and then I get to go there. I go to different, like, Bible studies and young adults groups. So I know it's different because it's in a religious context, but again, finding those people that share my same value set. So, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think as you grow up, it doesn't feel forced. I think a lot of your friendships when you're younger, it's just
Or just like,
it's parents and stuff. I feel like as you get older, it's more of a rewarding experience. It feels like you can actually talk to them about stuff, and a lot of times, there's no playground talk.
Yeah.
When you're younger, everything gets told to everybody, no matter what
Yeah.
you say.
Yeah. So you think you get like more filtered when you grow up, you learn to tell people less, like about like more open, more deep stuff, because you're like, I don't trust you in that way.
No, I
sort of
just
thing?
think as people get older, they just learn not to spill the beans of other people's beans. I think there are definitely people like that in the world, but I think a lot, like when you get older, you value friendships more. Where when you're younger, it's easier to have that playground talk. You know?
Of where like Sally did this,
Yeah.
and then you all go make fun of Sally,
Yeah,
sort of
pretty
thing.
much.
But when you're older, you're like, actually, I care about Sally, so I'm not gonna spill whole stuff in
Yeah.
front of you.
and you're also gravitating towards people that you're sharing that value of, we respect each other and we respect each other's information we're sharing with one another. It's not just, these are the people in my class and it doesn't matter what they believe and what they value. You're actually like, okay, I don't actually want to hang out or befriend people who don't value what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so as we did with the mourning, what are your guys' definition of mourning a friendship? Like, it could be, you've been trying with this person for a while. You're like, you really want the friendship, but they just seem like they don't. So the friendship ends. Like, what do you feel like your version, like your description of it, kind of?
I can start on this one. I feel like mourning friendships it's definitely, I would say a lot tougher than mourning a lot of other things because your friends are your tight-knit group. It's who you talk to about stuff. But one thing growing up that I've learned is mourning a friendship does not always mean you'll get clarity out of it. And I think that's one thing that we should share, especially with people that are probably going through it, is that you're not always going to get clarity out of mourning a friendship.
It's not always going to be like that happy ending sort
you're
of thing.
not always going to be clear on why it ended. There's some people that, little triggers in people's lives that are traumas from when they're younger. You'll hit a spot and they'll go ghost, and they're not doing it on purpose. It's just, for them, it's, you hit an emotional part that they feel like they can't separate you and that part anymore. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's accepting that the ending is inevitable to a relationship that once meant something. And I like what you said, that it's not always easy, or it's not always, you don't always get clarity from that ending, but it's accepting that it has ended, and what you're gonna do about that, and how you're gonna process that, and that's where things like forgiveness comes in.
Yep.
And so it's hard because sometimes it's the friend who's moving away from you. They're the ones that are like, this is done, and then other times you're the one going, okay, maybe this isn't good. And I need to end this, but that's also a difficult process too, because then you're like, am I the that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, do you need a drink?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, I really love the descriptions of what you guys think mourning is a friendship. It's always different though for different people. It could be mending a friendship. Maybe it ended too suddenly because they moved away, something like that. So it's more of like you're mending it you're mourning it together before they leave, sort of thing, like a party, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then there's also the scenarios of the person just cutting you off or you cutting them off and you're trying to mourn that. Okay, thank you for bringing up a drink. I know.
I think each friendship isn't gonna be more than the same that you lose.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Is
it like depends on the value of the friendship? Say if it's a more like a acquaintance sort of thing. So then it's easier to mend. But say someone in your inner circle, as we call it, leaves. That's much harder to deal with than
Well, I would
say someone you see every now and then.
say that you don't mourn acquaintanceships.
Yeah.
You you're maybe
I think you
upset,
probably.
annoyed,
Yeah,
but
you
yeah.
think
Yeah.
about it, but I don't think it's something that you.
It's not something
It
you
doesn't wreck
mourn. It's
you.
more like, I could get a new one sort of thing instead of like that
Yeah.
person actually met something in my life.
I feel
at
like mourning
a
a
period.
friendship or mourning things in general is. It's tough to get out of bed the next day.
Yeah.
Type stuff. Like you think about it. It's hard.
Like as I've put this in the series, like a seasonal friend, they're the person that comes in and they do something in your life that maybe you didn't think of, or maybe they help you in a certain way and then they leave. Do you mourn that sort of friendship?
I think if it gets to friend level, I think you mourn something when there's an element of grief involved. You can have seasonal friends where it ends up being a good thing. You're like, no, I knew this was temporary. Like when you're traveling or when you're going to university.
Like if they're like, hey, I'm only here for a year, so if we become friends, gonna have to leave.
And I think there's a difference on mourning. I feel like deeper, like there are friends that you definitely probably mourn that aren't as deep as other ones. And there's friends that you would call family, and mourning those are gonna be the hardest.
10
that
times
you'll be
harder
able
than
to-
others.
Yeah, because you let them in. Those are the people that you usually know your family's names and middle names, and those are the people that it feels like losing. That important person in your life.
Yeah.
I think that's key. How much have you let them in?
Yeah.
How much have they let you in? And oftentimes when you mourn something, it's a lot more one-sided than, it's supposed to be. And that ends up kind of resulting in that mourning.
Okay. I like the conversation so far.
Oh, good. That's what we came here for.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Hey, okay, there's sometimes we bring guests on and it's more of like the guest is just sitting there, sort of thing.
You weren't getting that.
Kind of having to pull teeth, you're having to give these crazy wild scenario stories to try to get something out of them. It's crazy.
No. I do that with everybody, so I'll probably do it for you too, okay?
We're too entertaining. We're too good at this. Listen,
Okay.
I'm on a podcast by myself. Not just kidding.
Okay,
What
so...
do you see as mourning though? Like as a.
Oh, you're flipping on to me now. You just...
Actually, those listeners are
They've
way
seen
more
a lot.
interested in how the friendships,
Exactly.
how you mourned.
Yeah. How do you mourn?
I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's always different towards certain friends. Like if I know them longer and I felt closer to them,
Yeah.
it's just like it's hard to get out of bed. It's hard to like think of them because you're like, oh, I let that go, sort of thing. And then there's friendships where I kind of let them in, but not too much. So I'm like, I feel bummed for a day, and I'm like, all right, time to move on.
Have you ever, and this is for even Amethyst too, have you ever mourned a friendship and it made you go like in depression or affected your depression, anxiety? I know mental health is a big thing nowadays, so what does that look like? Has it ever happened to you?
That's a good question.
Kind of. It's more of I was already starting to become depressed, and it kind of pushed me over. It's more of it was like I had a good friendship with this one person I was seeing, and we started maybe going out, and then it just started, and then it ended, and we stopped talking, and it kind of made me get real bummed.
Yeah, no, I get it. What about you, Amethyst?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like Dominic said, it does depend on the season you're in. I don't know if I would say that it affected me in, like, the long term, but I think what stands out to me more about, like, one specific friendship that just ended, I was in the 8th grade. So, I mean, it was one of those friendships based on convenience, initially. And then one day, I just checked Facebook and we weren't friends anymore. I was like, oh, that's weird. So I was like, well, maybe that was a mistake. And so I sent her a friend request again. And it was denied. And I was like, whoa, what's happened here? I was like, this is crazy. I was like, and we didn't go to the same school anymore where we had been hanging out. And I remember I called her like 3 times, I think, after that. And there's just nothing, no response. I never got a response. And so I held on to that for a long time. I vented to other friends about it, and I was like, I'm fine. You know what? I'm going to forgive and forget. And I ended up going to a different high school my junior year. So I was 17, and I saw her there. She went to the same school. And I just remember seeing her and just this anger coming over me.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
You didn't fully get over it.
Yeah, I didn't realize I wasn't over it. And so I ended up not talking to her because I was not in a good place to be able to confront that. And at the same time, I was like, it doesn't matter why she left. It doesn't matter anymore at this point. What matters is that I'm still holding on to this.
You're holding on to a grudge or
Yeah,
something.
this anger and this hurt because I hadn't
There wasn't clarity.
mourned it. Yeah, it was
That's
like
what
that.
it is.
Yeah.
No clarity, and
No
so I had
clarity.
to constantly
Those are the
pursue
worst
that
ones.
forgiveness, not for her.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to her. She didn't know. But it mattered to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I have to say that coming up after years of because this was 8th grade to junior year, I was like, whoa. That was wild, and then now I'm over it. I would sure hope so. I felt that.
What's something that you can, or what are...
Hey, you're not getting out of this cycle. You can't just, anytime I ask a question, I usually answer with so you're gonna have to answer it.
Okay, yes, I've had friendships definitely affect my depression, anxiety for sure. I think a lot of people with COVID happening, a lot of friendships ended, and ended very abruptly because it just, everything was going on in the world.
It wasn't worth it, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I just think there's different. I think everybody dealt with theirs stuff
In different
differently.
ways.
I definitely through COVID and coming out of COVID, I was not the same person that I was before. I had super social anxiety, but now that I look back at it, I honestly think it was all there was a reason for it. I think I've made way more new friendships coming out of COVID and deeper connections with people, and I think it truly. I think mourning those friendships through that time, giving myself time to think and really mourn them, gave me clarity on what I wasn't giving into a friendship and what I also want out of one. And that's deep connections, or else it's just not worth my time,
Yeah, but that intentionality.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I'm like shocked right now.
Why are you shocked?
Why are you shocked?
Yeah.
Because beforehand, if you guys didn't know, originally it was just going to be Amethyst on. And then the two people that came on before them told me this morning they wanted to come on. And then Koby drove us here and then was like, I'll come on.
Yeah, Koby.
So I got more guests than I think it's our podcast, like world record right now is 4 guests, I guess. So it's, and then it's also like just amazing to see that you guys brought on and you brought different your own personality and would hold a conversation. And as I said, sometimes there's guests that come on and you got like kind of like come on.
I think me and
Can you
Koby are
please say
just
this?
maybe a little bit of attention whores. I can't speak for him, but
No, it's not even that though. I think
I don't know. I think we would like to stand out.
me and Amethyst are very deep people.
Yeah.
Like we very much have our own deep stuff, and I think same with Parker and Riley. I think it's you brought guests on that kind of have their own stories and are willing to tell it, and so I think it's different.
Yeah, we're all like individuals with our own like sense of like storytelling in of itself too. It's like
I do want. I'm sorry,
No,
I
go ahead,
interrupted
go
you,
ahead.
but me and Matt talked about this yesterday. That I want to do a testimony series eventually.
That'd be cool.
pick me.
Well, it's gonna be like
We don't want pick me friendships here, all right?
Ten.
Come on, that's toxic.
No, I'm not called out.
Somebody go get her.
We do but it's just idea that came to me literally yesterday, and I thought it was really funny that you just brought it up. Like everybody has their own story, so they add their own spin on stuff because of the experiences they've seen throughout their life. Like maybe one of you guys have had more friendships than someone else did, and all that stuff. So maybe one of you's more experience on like different versions of friendships. Maybe one of you's like only known a deep rooted friendship. Sort
I
of.
think everybody takes what they want, or everybody eventually finds out what they want out of a friendship. Some people are okay with having shallow friends, just kind of surface level friends and glide across life, and some people are wanting more intentional and more deep conversations and more life out of a friendship than just something that you can call somebody up and say, hey, let's go, to a beach or something.
Like I think you need both in your life for sure, because you kind of do just want those people that you kind of go and get drinks with, or you just get a big group and go hiking together or something. But like if you don't have those deeper friendships that you actually have like real value and real conversation with, then you're gonna feel that lack a lot more. But at the same time, if you only have those deep friends and you're like, I want to go do stuff, and then like, I can't because I have family or I have work, or you're gonna find yourself twiddling your thumbs at home, being like, it's that balance.
Yeah, I think it's what you take out of it and knowing what friendship is what. I think will help you either not mourn someone or mourn someone for sure is knowing what kind of friendship it was, because I think a lot of times we mourn the wrong people.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've done that before?
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely mourned somebody that I wouldn't say it isn't worth the time to mourn, but I feel like it didn't affect them as much as it affected me, and sometimes.
So maybe you felt more. You felt more in the relationship than they did.
Yeah, I
sort
gave
of
more
thing.
percentage in that
Like
relationship.
you gave more give than they did.
Yeah,
It's like
and
a
I
one-sided
think there's
kind of.
times, like, if you've ever had a friend that's like that you mourn or whatever, and you go see them and they act like your best friends, and then you're like, what are you doing here? You know, or what are you talking about? I think those are the friendships that I look back and I'm like, why? Why did I give them that? You know, obviously they're surface level, and I think a lot of times we go through life. I always do it as a tree analysis, mistaking our branches for our roots.
Love tree analogies.
And I think our roots are definitely something that are the hardest mourns that we have.
Yeah, I have a tree metaphor as well.
There we go.
Like,
Go with it.
there's the roots, and then there's, all the branches.
Yep, and then the leaves.
But you can't mourn the leaves because you're going to lose those every season.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Here we go.
Put a tree up.
No.
We
We don't do that, no.
People need to know what a tree looks like. Baby. Put a tree up.
We insert some tree.
Yeah, can we insert some
That's
tree?
that's editing. That's editing, Dominic, right there.
So you telling me Matt can't do it?
Not on the camera, no. No. I'm the one that usually edits.
Yeah, tree.
I guess I'll try to make it a tree.
There we go.
And you can put all the guest
Edit.
pictures.
It's called a
from the
friendship tree. Yeah.
Oh, friendship tree instead of family tree.
Yeah, exactly. Friendship
Yeah.
tree.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'll think about it.
That sounds like he's not gonna do it.
I'm gonna make him do it.
That's
Don't worry.
hard. Like
I'm gonna make him do a chat.
Oh my god. Chat.
Chat, yeah. You have a chat. You have people. Listen.
Yeah. The listeners.
Yeah, and when they chat, they're a chat.
Chat is Twitch. I caught it real fast. Oh my. The thing, the recording stopped. Well, not that recording, but the audio stopped. Yeah, so you're gonna force me to put up a tree for the thumbnail?
We're gonna call it friendship tree. You know,
Just
I've
like-
done it before. By
there
the
you
way,
go.
we're copywriting friendship tree, so don't try stealing it.
copyright that before you know it.
We're definitely gonna copyright it.
I do want to
We're copyrighting.
bring this up for you guys out there. Me, Chance, and Matt, when we were thinking of this series idea, we wanted to not just help you guys, but we also wanted to help each other learn, not just learn, but like grow our friendships. And it's amazing to see that you guys come on and you have like so much knowledge about mourning, and Parker and Riley had knowledge about mending, and it's just fun to see that this series just started off as a little like idea I threw out of nowhere, that a series on a friendship or something like that, and now it's blossoming into like this beautiful tree, I guess.
Because you brought your friends with you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I think a lot of it too is a lot of shows nowadays are, if you watch it, a lot of it's inner circle now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like The Office.
Like I got.
Weirdly, and Friends and.
Have you guys seen the intro to the series?
Yes.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
you haven't.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
Sorry, I'm a
each
fake fan.
there's four shows I hid inside that, and each of them deals with a friendship circle, basically. Like the first one is friends. So the first episode we talked about just making friends, and then the second one was about How I Met Your Mother and how they start off with just a band of yeah, and then this one is about New Girl, and it's a wild show, but it's about friends becoming family, and I love that it's just this episode is about mending and mourning, and I feel like that you do that a lot as a family too. It's like you mend relationships between a family member, or you mourn a family member.
Well,
In a sense.
Together, I think that's one thing that
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize is, especially in the inner circle, if a friend's leaving, it's not always they're not.
Yeah.
Especially in the inner circle, they're not just leaving you.
Yeah, they're
the whole
leaving
friend group.
everybody.
And so I think,
At that level, yeah, for sure.
yeah, and I think what it's at that level, I think one thing we need to realize is
Maybe-
it's okay to mourn together.
Yeah.
And have those talks and go to you could go to a
Yeah.
coffee shop or your bedroom and just talk and
Which-
see how it's going.
I'm sorry to interrupt you,
No, you're
but I did do a scenario a while back, but it's like you're taking so much weight on your shoulders, and if you have an inner circle, they're kind of there to help you with that load, so it's not as heavy where it's gonna crush you. So it's like the grief of someone leaving. If you try to take it on your own, it's so massive that it's gonna be hard. But if you do it together, I feel like it'll be easier because you have each other.
Yeah, I think it's like picking up a couch for yourself.
Yeah.
Compared to picking a couch up with people, it's a whole different. It's lighter when you have more people on the couch and.
Not on the couch.
Yeah.
You can lift up the couch. If they're sitting on the couch, then.
On the couch. You can lift it better, I promise.
That's some free advice.
That's,
All your friends
that's some,
together, sit on the
yeah.
couch
And then lift it.
Mhm.
You can lift it,
Um,
you can take that
That
friendship.
means that's a
Yeah.
true friendship.
That's a true friendship.
Okay, I did say I was gonna give you guys a scenario like I gave them.
Alright.
Okay, so your guys' scenario is gonna be, so you have this friendship, and you're putting a lot of work into it, but you feel like the other person's not. How would you? And they're really close. I'm gonna say they were a close friend.
How many years?
6.
Okay.
6 years.
Okay.
They've been with you for 6 years, but lately it feels like they've been pulling away more than you have. You're like, oh, can we go get a coffee? And they're like, nope, got plans. Oh, can you come do this with me? Nope, got plans. Sort of thing. How would you go about that? Would you try to, like, go fix it? Like, set up a meeting? Or
I think it depends
how would you?
close we are. I mean, like, because time doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean anything, but I think
Yeah.
if this was a truly close friend and I was at this level with them, I would
Yeah.
be like, hey, like, what's up? Like,
Yeah.
is this just work? Is this just, like, what's happening?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, I do have a friend like that kind of currently where
Yeah.
it's like, I get it because she's busy. She just bought a house. She got
Yeah.
married last year. She has a kid now on the way. It's
Wow.
like, so it's hard. I get it. You know, we're not really going to, spend a lot of time
You're not
together.
going
And the
down.
last 2 times, I was like, hey,
Yeah.
we're going to do this thing. And then it's like, oh, no response. I was like, okay, well, let me know when you are free. No
Yeah.
response. It's one of those things where I'm like, I want to say, like, what's up? But at the same time, I know what's up. I know that it's like our lives are like going in different directions. And I'm like, I think that's at that level where I'm mourning what we once had.
Yeah.
But also the friendship isn't over.
It's not necessarily over.
Yeah, it's not necessarily over.
It's just not where it
yeah,
was.
But to mourning what it was
Mm.
and accepting what it is now, which is that completely different stages of life. She's got a family and a home. I have
Yeah.
transient lifestyle where I'm moving to Europe for 9 months. So
And I think it also is very lenient on sometimes friends just need a kick in the butt. I
Yeah.
know for me, for a while, especially when I was depressed and stuff, I needed those friends that kind of like was like, "Hey, buddy, you're acting
Yeah.
like this," and it's not always easy to get those messages, but some people don't realize it. I think some people just, like you said, their lives become so busy,
Go, go,
so
go.
hectic, so quick that
They have like tunnel vision, basically.
yeah, and I think a text message is yeah, we think it's so simple, but some people look at that stuff and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I really hurt this person, and then they want to process it, and then they forget about it because, like you said,
Yeah.
babies coming out of the way, and they find out news and houses and moving, and so then it goes off the charts. So
Yeah.
I think that's definitely, like, for me at least in your scenario,
Yeah.
I would call the person or text them.
Well, I brought everybody on so we can say goodbye to you, lovely people. Thank you, all of you, for coming on and sharing all the stuff you guys shared. It means a lot to me, and I bet you it means a lot to them.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
I'll invite. You might see more of them if you guys want to see more of them, and if we can schedule stuff out.
Yeah, let us know which is your favorite friend.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite friend you want to see back on the blog?
Yeah.
But
Call me.
Vote for Koby.
Yep.
I'll
Koby
remind
for
you,
mayor.
all the rest of the episodes are already up, so go watch them. Fourth episode will be out next week. It's the final one, and then maybe we'll do something like this on a couch just afterwards.
Yeah, it'll be
Something
chaotic.
weird.
We'll
Something
call it
chaotic and
week.
something like that. Yeah, but well, I love all of you guys. I don't know. They don't really know you guys, but I love you.
anyway.
Yeah, we still love you. If you need new friends, we need new friends. So hit us up.
Yeah.
Comment down below.
Exactly,
We'll
yeah.
figure something out.
Love y'all, all of you guys. This is none other than Smalls in.
Bigs.
See y'all next week.
Peace.